Greetings everyone. Welcome to another episode of Brown Girls Are Beautiful. This is the channel of substance, so welcome to the channel of substance. I am your hostess and your melanated queen, y'all, Lil Foxy, aka Seventh Wonder. So today's topic, I want to talk about mediocre minds, mediocre mindsets, right? Why we want to stay clear of mediocre mindsets and mediocre people with mediocre dreams, mediocre goals, mediocre wishes, mediocre wants. And there's nothing wrong with being mediocre if you just want a mediocre life. But for those who aspire more, you are tuned into the right place, okay? It's nothing in this world wrong with having the biggest dreams, biggest goals, biggest imagination, wanting the most, right? Because you only get one time in this realm, in this physical body, in this particular time. So why not go out with a bang? Why not go for the gusto, y'all? For so many years, we have been trained to think that we have to settle for these mediocre jobs. You have to go and get a mediocre education for a mediocre career or a mediocre life. And people tell you, oh, well, you know, that's stability. That's the way of life. If you do this, you'll be okay. And then in 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, you can retire, right? For a pension that no longer exists because a lot of companies are taking away pensions, right? And you could have a 401k if you build it up over the course of years. However, I want you to think about so many people that pass away. I remember this one time, somebody that I used to know, they had a friend and he passed away at the age of 26 years old on his way driving down the road. And that really shocked me. I had seen him around, but I didn't really know the guy. But 26 years old is very young in age. And I know there are some people who don't even make it to 26, don't make it to 20, don't make it to 15. There are babies being born that don't make it, y'all. So we don't know. Our days are limited. No matter what we do, no matter how good we take care of ourselves, how much you work out, how good you eat, how much you try to cut down on the risk factors in life, the fact remains that we all have to transition at some point. So why not spend each day of your life building something for yourself? I don't care if it's in the smallest step. I don't care if it's brick by brick, step by step. You got to walk before you crawl. But don't settle for a mediocre lifestyle if that's not something you want. Don't settle for a mediocre person if you don't want mediocre. And people will judge. People will be judgmental because if you tell them your wishes, your goals, your desires, your dreams, they're going to look at you. Oh, why are you being so high-minded? Who do you think you are to deserve X, Y, and Z? So really stop telling people what your aspirations are, right? You're going to get a lot of negative feedback. You're going to get a lot of, people trying to doubt you and make you feel like it's impossible. So that's why you have to keep things held very closely to, people that you can trust and just to yourself. Like there are females out here settling for mediocre males that are jealous of these females. Okay. And I'm speaking because I know what I'm talking about. There are males out here that are jealous of females because the females have, maybe a nice career. Maybe they have some degrees or a degree. Maybe they have a nice house, live in a nice neighborhood, are able to go and shop, have a nice wardrobe, can take vacations, and this mediocre man comes along. What does she do? She settles for this mediocre man. Because she wants a man, right? She wants a man that's mediocre. So what does he bring to the table? Since we want to talk about this and we want to have these conversations, y'all. And I'm not one for a gender-based war. I don't believe in the mindset of, I don't need a man, I don't need a woman. Because if your mother said that, you wouldn't be here. Okay, if your father said that, or whoever your person that made you come into this world, if they said that to one another, you wouldn't be here. So we need each other, unfortunately, to procreate. All right. And there are things that men can do that women can't do. There are things that women can do that men can do. This is just common sense. So why are we set out in this whole mindset of, oh, I don't need the other gender? Unfortunately, even if you don't feel that way, it is necessary for procreation. And I know there are women out here having children with women, but guess what? They still needed a man to do it. There are men out here trying to have children with men, but guess what? They still needed a woman to make it happen. All right, unless you adopt a pet. All right, so let's get over this mindset. But back to my point and my topic at hand. This mediocre mindset that's in the man comes into this female's life, right? She has all these goals, ambitions, desires, and dreams. She wants him to have the same thing, but guess what? He does not have it. It's not in him. He's not capable of thinking any more than what he has been thinking, unless he has an open mind. And there are a lot of people out here that may have open minds, but there are a lot of people, especially males, that they don't mature sometimes until they get into their 50s or 60s, unfortunately. And that is just the nature of the melanated male, and it's been designed that way on purpose. So you have this melanated male that comes into this female's life, and he brings baggage because he probably had a mediocre mindset his whole life. So because of maybe how he was raised, or maybe because he was not pushed hard enough, I don't know what the situation was in his household, he gravitates to this woman because he sees all her desires, her dreams, her goals, her ambitions, what she's built for herself. And she wants him to do the same, but guess what? He's just not going to do it. So the female has to make a decision. And y'all, I'm bringing this up because I have a client that reached out to me yesterday. And I remember because I sold them their first house in this state. And I just thought they were the cutest, most adorable family. They had 3 little children. I mean, like, one was a baby when they bought their house. And I just thought she was so cute, petite framed female. And I really admired their family structure. And I just thought it was the most amazing thing that they're so young with this beautiful family. They're purchasing a house. How wonderful. Lo and behold, she contacted me, I think last year or the year before last. And she was like, she wanted to talk. So I met up with her. We went to go see this house. You know, she told me what was going on. She was having some issues, you know, with her spouse. So I was really hoping that they would work it out. Well, she called me yesterday. She wanted to talk again. So we spoke, and she let me know that they ended up divorcing. And part of it was because of his mindset. So this was a big thing for her. And she's not one to believe in divorce. She has traditional values, just like myself. I feel that once you get married the first time, that should be it. You should not have to keep divorcing, remarrying, divorcing, remarrying. I feel like that one marriage should stand for something. And there are not a lot of people that think like that, but she does. And so we share a lot of the same traditional core values when it comes to that. Now with this female, this young girl, well, I'm not going to call her a girl, this young lady, she was going to school. She was doing things for herself. She's expressed that she needed more from the male counterpart. She wanted him to do more, and it was his mindset that was not growing. And over the course of time, she saw that it was causing her to be drained. It was draining her energy. So when that happens, this is what happens to the female. Now think about it. This female has to pour into 3 children and herself. First of all, you have to pour into yourself before you can pour into a child. If your health is declining and you're not healthy enough to take care of a child or 3 children. You have to be healthy enough to even bear children, to bring them into this world. So if the man or the counterpart that you're with has a mediocre mindset, and they're not doing what they need to do so you can thrive in life and not just surviving, where is that going to bring you down? It's going to bring you down, y'all. So don't let these people with these mediocre minds come and interject themselves into your life and try to downplay you, because that's another thing that I want to touch on. There are men and males out here downgrading and downplaying females because they are envious and jealous, resentful about the female's accomplishments. Sometimes they are resentful about the attention that a female gets, even though she's not seeking the attention, but just males gravitate towards her because she's attractive, because they like her energy, because they just like her personality, they like her demeanor, and for whatever reason, he takes it out on the female. They will throw whatever achievements, whatever accomplishments that you have attained for yourself, they'll throw it in your face. Oh, you went to college. Oh, because you have this type of car, because you have your own house, or because whatever it is. It's like, why are you bringing this up? Because this should be a commonality for people. If there's something you want to go out and get and attain these things, that's nothing major for a lot of people. That is just something that you feel like is automatic. This is going to happen for me anyway, because I already know what I'm capable of. But other people with a mediocre mindset looks at these glorious big things like, oh my goodness, she has this and this and that, or he has this and that going for themselves, and they don't have it. So this is why you have to be really careful about mixing and mingling with mediocre mindset people that don't see themselves on the same level as you. And I want to touch on this too, because it's easy for people to be on a pedestal and look down on other people. Like people that have already elevated in life, it's very easy for those people to look down on other people that get caught up in a situation, or that are in the middle of a situation, or they're enduring a situation. You can be high up here and you can fall. And it might not even be your fault. It could be because of the circumstances that happen in life sometimes are out of your control. You don't know. It could be a health issue that arose out of nowhere. You never knew this would happen. It could put you out of work. You had to have a surgery. Things happen fast. So we got to be real careful too about people that like to sit on their high horses and judge people that they feel are beneath them or below them. A lot of people in the melanated community like to do this to one another. So now you're looking at this female with the 3 children. I guess you could classify her as a single mother, but the man that she married, that's the father of their 3 children. She said they became very good friends afterwards. So he's very much still a part of her life and the children's life. So, in the back of my mind, I'm hoping that, hey, hopefully they can work this out and get back together. But I don't know. She has to do what's best for her. She needs him to grow mentally, right? And we know that for some reason, and these are not melanated people that I'm talking about, but for some reason, it takes a lot of times males to mature. It takes them longer to mature. And what I have noticed in specific is in the melanated community, melanated males are not held up to the same standard as females. They're given a pass. They don't have to have, these elevated goals, or they don't have to have, elevation in the mind. But that's why these females get caught up in these situations. And it's not just melanated people, but I'm saying in specific because these are the people that I am around the most. All right. Now, when we talk about on a global scale, it doesn't matter, because even if people keep mixing and mingling with these people with a lower mindset than them, they will bring you down eventually. But it's more prolific from what I have seen in the melanated community. So that's why I speak from that vantage point, because I'm a melanated female that communes with melanated people. All right. Hence the term brown girls are beautiful, but this is a universal channel. So many people can relate to what I'm talking about. Well, like I said, I see it a lot in our community where the males, they don't mature. They don't have to mature. It is acceptable for them to be 20s and 30s, late 30s, 40s, and just not elevating in life, in their mindset, emotionally, psychologically, sometimes spiritually. And I think your spiritual journey is something that is between yourself and your creator, or whomever. That is your personal business, as long as you're not infringing on other people's rights, as long as you're not harming and damaging other people. So I don't really care what you believe in, as long as you are not harming me in any capacity. Some people take religion too far and they try to superimpose their mindsets on other people. I don't like that, because I don't feel like one religion is inferior or superior over the other. But you'll have a lot of Christian-based Bible thumping people out here saying that Christianity is the only way, Jesus Christ is the only way. But what happened when Jesus didn't exist, y'all? Okay, when he wasn't born. So what did all those people go to HELL? Is that what happened? Is that what you believe? I'm pretty sure there's going to be people who don't agree with this conversation and this segment of the video. They're going to get upset and mad. But I think outside of the box. And so a lot of times when you think outside of the box, when you deal with mediocre mindset people with a mediocre mindset, they're not able to think outside of the box. They don't challenge theories. And if you challenge a theory, they say, oh, you shouldn't question God. But if God gave us a brain, who you call God, our creator or creators, gave us the mindset to rationalize, to think, to have a logical mindset, why aren't we able to use these, instruments that were placed inside of us? What is wrong with that? I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't overstand that. So you're not talking to me. You're talking to yourself. And so there are a lot of people with limited minds. And that's what I'm talking about when you're talking about mediocre mindsets. People who don't think about building businesses. My real estate brand is called, I have a slogan saying, be the CEO of your financial future. How are we doing that, y'all? Creating economic ownership. Hence, that's when you're a CEO, when you create economic ownership. How do you do that? Building a business or businesses and home ownership. And that's a whole nother topic that I can get on my real estate channel. There are males out here in their 40s, 30s, 20s that are actually believing that, oh, why would I go and get a house? I don't have a wife. I don't have children. I'd rather rent. If you're female, right? And I believe a male should have what you have and more. That's just my mindset. But if you want to settle for mediocre, go right ahead. So this man is telling you there's no point in investing into a house because he doesn't have a wife and child. So if you are renting and he is renting, he has nothing to offer you, right? He doesn't really have much to offer. All right. So let's just say that he wants to spend money on rent. Right now, the average rent in America or here is around $2,000 a month. And we can even scale that back and say, what if he's only spending $1,500? $1,500 is kind of in the middle and on the low end at this point. But we'll just say $1,500 to be conservative. $1,500 a month, right? And he's doing that for 12 months. He's just spent $18,000 to rent. Now he does it for another year. He just spent $36,000 on rent. Now he does it for another year. So say he's been there for 3 years. He's now spent $54,000 on rent. So $54,000 on rent in 3 years is what this male has done, right? And most people, they stay after about 2 or 3 years and the rent goes up. So really his rent is not staying at $1,500. His rent has gone up. So he's probably spending $1,800 on rent. All right. And what happens when your rent goes up? You spend even more money that you won't get back. So from an economic standpoint, he has a mediocre mindset because he doesn't understand finances and he's financially illiterate. So if you're dealing with a financially illiterate male, how is he going to help you move forward in life? How is he going to help your family, if you had children with him, be able to be sustainable? You got to think about these things. You got to think about the mindset of the person you're dealing with. And I'm speaking from a female perspective because I'm a female. This is not to say that a male cannot deal with a female. That's vice versa, right? But I'm saying a male, if he's supposed to be a provider and a protector, then he needs to do that, provide and protect. And providing means financially, right? As well as emotionally and all these other things. But you need to be able to understand finances. And if you don't, and if you have a mediocre mindset, What is that going to do for the family structure? How are you going to be secure if you are a female and you have to go out here and work 6, 7 months pregnant, standing on your feet out here in the heat, working at Chick-fil-A? Because I saw a female doing it the other year, and I'm like, it was too hot for her to be out there. But you know how the Chick-fil-A people be out there in the sun. I felt so sorry for her. So that's one thing. He wants to throw away $54,000 of his money. Now, let me tell you something. When you get a house, your house, you bought it for, let's say, $200,000 back in 2020. $200,000 you bought the house for back in like 2018, because around that time you could get a decent house. You could get a 2-level house with 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms, 2-car garage with a decent sized yard in 2018. All right, for about $200,000, give or take. You could actually have that. Now that same house is going for about $350,000 to $400,000 in a matter of 6 to 7 years. Yeah, so that's the difference on what a house price and home values do. So if you have a male or a significant other that does not understand these things because they have a mediocre mindset, because they want to point out to you, oh, well, I got to think about the maintenance. Oh, I got to think about the repairs. They come up with excuses, basically, is what I'm saying. So they don't see how they are growing equity. They don't understand how they're having, it's like an investment, right? They don't understand these things because they don't understand about a home warranty. They don't understand about homeowners insurance. They don't understand a lot when it comes to finances in life. Mediocre mindsets. They don't like to investigate. They don't want to hear anything that challenges their core belief system, core value system, because they feel like they're right. They feel like there's no negating what they believe. There's no negotiating. So when you get to that point with a person, is it worth it to build a life with that person? You got to tell yourself, what are you worth? Are you worth more than putting limitations on your dreams and goals, or you want to be with this mediocre person? I mean, I look at life that way. I don't know if other people look at people that way, but I do. Your mindset means a lot. And as far as even having friends around, if you're talking about business-minded people, my whole new strategy that I set out to understand is, if a person has less than you and you shouldn't be dealing with them, hanging out with them, because a lot of people, that breeds envy and that breeds jealousy. And it's not to say that you feel like you're better than someone or you're putting yourself on a pedestal against someone. It's just saying, no, you cannot hang out with these people because their mindset is different and you are on a different journey in life. They always tell you, when there's something you want to do in life, hang out with people that are doing what you want to do. If you want to, like, I'll use, for example, real estate. If I want to be a realtor, then what did I do? I hung out with other realtors. Like, my mentor was my realtor when I first moved. She was my realtor first, and she became my mentor. She made sure I hung around her how to do certain things. She taught me a lot, and even if I need help today, she will still help me. So this is how you elevate in life. It's not just saying it just to say it. I'm saying it because this is actually truthful, and I have lived it and I have experienced it. When people don't have a car, you shouldn't be hanging around a bunch of people who don't have cars. If you have something going on, such as a business for yourself, you can't be out here hanging around mediocre mindset people that don't have businesses, because all they do is want to hang around all day. I see a lot of people hanging out at the convenience stores. Y'all see it all the time. Stragglers out there in the middle of nowhere, going nowhere fast, walking the streets, headed nowhere fast. What are you doing with your day? We all get the same 24 hours. They could do and build some things for themselves, but they don't have the mindset to do it. So when you're doing something that they're not doing, they cannot comprehend, well, why are you working on this? That's never going to come into fruition. These are the things you're going to hear. They're not going to believe in what you have. You got a product that you're trying to sell. They don't believe in it. They want to hook up, give it to them for free. Life doesn't work that way. You're not going to gain any money if you give all your merchandise away for free. If you have a service that you're selling, such as a service like real estate, or a service such as pest control, or whatever it is that you're doing, counseling, notary work, they don't understand how business works. Why you want to do that? How you going to get clients? You're going to hear all the negative feedback. That's something you don't need when you're trying to build. You're trying to germinate a seed. It's very fragile. It's very delicate. It's still growing. Even when a baby is developing, they say in the first trimester, that's the most delicate time for a child to develop. So the first 3 months are very important. And so you cannot listen. You cannot do anything that's going to jeopardize the growth of this baby, the growth of your goals, your dreams, your ambitions, your desires. That means cutting the weeds away. That means cutting these people out of your life. They're not going to understand why. They're going to think, oh, you think you're too good to hang with us. Yes. Right now, my dreams, my life, everything that I'm building is worth more than being around mediocre mindset people. Okay, people with a mediocre mindset, because they will keep you stagnant, y'all. I'm telling you, they will keep you stagnated. And sometimes you don't have the energy to pour into these mediocre people with these mediocre mindsets. You got to always uplift them, encourage them, pour into them, tell them that they can do it too. They don't even believe in themselves. So you have to have enough energy to radiate within yourself to build what you're building. You don't have time to keep looking back, pulling them up. They hanging on the ledge. Here you go, pulling them up so they don't fall out the window, y'all. It's too much. Get with people that want to elevate in life, that are on your level, that are already business owners, that are already doing the same thing that you want to do. And if people don't understand it, it is just way too bad. Life is too short not to fulfill your dreams, not to fulfill your goals in life, and not to have the life you want, have the life you feel that you deserve. You tell the universe, this is what I am. I told the universe, I am a realtor. I told the universe, I am X, Y, and Z. This is what I desire. And that's what you work on building every single day for yourself. And don't listen to anybody else, any naysayers that says, oh, well, how is that going to happen? Because it didn't happen for them, because they didn't understand what to do, because they gave up. That's not your problem. Mediocre mindsets. Leave them in the past, y'all. And y'all, those are just the words of Brown Girls Are Beautiful. I hope this message has helped someone today. Please like if you enjoyed it. If you want to subscribe, please do that and share the video with someone that may need to hear this. Thank you so much for all my supporters. This has been my birthday week. My birthday already passed. It was the first of the month. However, we're going to celebrate this entire month. Shout out to all the fellow Cancerians out there. Shout out to all the July birthdays. We were born in one of the hottest months of the year because we had to try, y'all. We just don't stop. And I was born on the day number 1. So just, to tell y'all about being born on day number 1, I resonate with the day number 1. I am a life path 1. I am a natural born leader, but I'm the leader of myself. I don't try to lead other people. I don't tell people to follow me, but I do see people that I have influenced to do certain things. And that, y'all, sometimes is the best form of flattery, is when people emulate you. All right. Don't take it as, oh, they're copying off of me. People are going to copy and copy and copy, but the original you cannot be duplicated. So just remember that. And always, as I say, always continue to walk in your divinity. How are you going to walk in your divinity with a mediocre mindset, hanging around mediocre mindset people? You cannot. All right. Get them out of your lives and rise to who you were meant to be. I am signing out. Until next time, you all stay blessed. So greetings, everyone. Greetings, everyone. I just wanted to strike a little birthday pose. All right. We're doing a birthday twirl. I want y'all to see my golden dress. Ocean energy, y'all. Walking down the runway. Y'all, this was a dress that I was going to use for my photo shoot, but I have a different dress in mind, so stay tuned. Hope you like it. I got this from a boutique out here called Eye Candy, and I've had it for about 2 to 3 years. Haven't worn it. This is my first day wearing it. Rate, like, comment. How do you like this birthday ensemble? How do you like this dress? Do you like the color, the fit? Y'all, I like it. Tell me your thoughts. This is what I had when I went to my birthday dinner today out on the rooftop. It started raining, so I wasn't able to get a lot of birthday shots outside. So that's okay, because all week, all month, we're going to celebrate this birthday, and I'm going to fix myself up, and I want you to tell me what you think about my ensemble and my attire, okay? All right, y'all, I am signing out. It is late. I am tired. It is 1 o'clock, and I need some rest, y'all. I've been out today. All right, y'all.